Supposed to hoot sweet.
Toot sweet.
Toot toot my poot.
Whoa.
Good morning, ladies and
It's not
gentlemen.
a morning.
And women.
It's night.
I don't discriminate.
It's
Don't hate.
night. It's not morning.
It is what I say it is and what I want it to be.
That's not correct.
That's totally how that works.
No. It's not how it works.
There's in one of my feeds, there's already a YouTube video saying that those leaks are a hoax.
Yeah. Of course they are.
Of course they are. Of course you'd say that because that's a safe thing to say. Just nope. Don't believe what you read on the internet.
I don't know. After seeing the water one, I'm kind of maybe leaning towards not real, because the other two look like they could be real. The platypus looks pretty dumb, and it very much looks like somebody who is trying really hard to
Emulate the Pokemon.
guess where it's gonna be set.
Well, because Australia's... Well, I guess if you want to count Africa as the country that has yet to do it. Yet to host a Pokemon nation.
I mean, yeah. I mean, because we saw the starters before we knew... Last generation, before we knew it was going to be a Hawaii-like place.
Mm-hmm.
And my guess was China, and I was way off.
Right.
So the starters are not necessarily
right, but we
a
also
direct
got
match.
but we also got the name Sun and Moon too before.
Yeah. Right.
Which we also thought was,
China.
China.
But yeah, so it's like even the starters like aren't on the nose. So that's why I'm having doubts
Bah,
that they're real, because
bah,
they seem to be too on the nose for like
bah,
Australia.
bah.
Okay.
All right. So here, you take this. I'll start this, and then we can start up.
Start it up. Hey!
Start
Welcome.
me up before you go.
Welcome to the Media Boat Podcast. Woo! It's the
Way
Media
to
Boat Podcast. I'm peeking in here.
You're peeking and chewing.
Peekaboo. The Media Boat Podcast is your source for news about movies, television, video games, and music. Not necessarily in that order. This is episode 111. 111.
Yes.
Today is February the 21st, 2018. My name is Matt. His name is Mike.
I'm Mike. He's Matt. Welcome to Media Boat Podcast. We're here to bring you the lowdown of everything he just said.
It's true.
And I don't need to repeat that.
No, probably not. I mean, it's not recommended.
No.
So we always start the show with movies. Did you see any movies? Oh, wait.
Oh, wait.
Yes, you did.
Yes, I did. We both saw a movie, in fact.
We both saw a movie, but you saw the movie that matters.
Yes. So I saw Early Man.
Yes. You know, the one everybody's talking about. I mean, it took us forever to get a seat. It was sold out. Like, we had to wait till, like, super late.
I know. And then when we went to go see it, we just happened to pick the one that nobody was in.
Yep. No, we're kidding.
Well,
we did
not.
actually see Early Man, but it was not the movie on everybody's lips this week.
Oh, no.
That was, of course, Black Panther.
Watch your mouth. But yes, Black Panther.
I didn't see Black Panther.
So
You saw Black Panther.
I got lucky enough to see Black Panther.
Yes, apparently it is really, really hard to see.
Yeah, so I got like one of the last good seats, like not like up super front in the row,
Yeah.
but last like on the aisle, on the very end, just one random seat available, last one for an IMAX showing of the premiere. And it's just, okay, sure, cool, worked
I'll
out.
take it.
I'll take it. Because otherwise, apparently I have to wait like 2 weeks to go see this thing, because
Yeah.
it's still sold out. I looked up a showing this afternoon at 2 p.m. and it was half sold out already.
So let that be a lesson to you at home if you have not seen it or are planning just to waltz on to your local theater and go see it. Wrong! Reserve your seats early, because you will not be able to see it if you just walk.
So Black Panther is actually a good example of reserved seating actually being a good thing.
Sure. Yes. I mean, it kind of sucks, but...
Yes, it kind of sucks.
But
I still hate reserved seating.
I feel like this will be a lot of people's first experience with it.
Oh, yeah.
Where it's like a lot of people who have never had to do this will find themselves, oh, really? I have to buy ahead of time? What is this? I pick my seat?
Yeah.
Nonsense!
You're right.
It's $19.99. My
no,
brain.
it's 2018.
My brain.
It's 2018. We have black superheroes now.
It's true.
Which is actually funny
we
because
always
I
did.
saw an article saying... I actually saw an article. I don't know. It was from like some random site. I know it wasn't The Onion. I know that much. But
Right.
it said Black Panther did everything right except include a gay character.
Well, yeah. Can't ask for too much.
I know, but is that really asking for too much?
I don't know.
I
don't
feel
know
like
enough
that
about-
is.
I don't know enough about Marvel Comics to know if there is a gay superhero in their repertoire or any gay characters in their stories. I have no idea, so I'm not going to pretend like I know.
Right. But just saying that you should shoehorn a gay character in because then that way you cover everyone.
I mean, the problem in that conversation is you can kind of get into a slippery slope.
Oh,
there with shoehorn. What does that mean? Like, it doesn't necessarily like it's a complicated question. I think that's a complicated point. But one of the things to remember, if something is already kind of going out of their way to do something,
don't look a gifted horse in the mouth.
Noticeable as like putting a black superhero with an all black, mostly black cast,
and a black director, and black cast behind the camera as well.
Keep that in mind. That is a hard enough task to do.
Right.
And so yeah, it would be nice if there was representation of gay characters as well, but. Yeah, let's pace ourselves.
Let's choose our battles there.
I mean, yeah, it sucks that we can't have both, but we'll get there.
One step at a time, guys.
And we'll get there.
Anyway, so what I thought about Black Panther, Civil War, because that's basically what this movie is.
Except not, because they already did that Civil War. You're talking about a more general term, Civil War.
Oh yeah, I'm talking about Wakanda Civil War.
Yes.
So.
Well, first of all,
let's try.
What is Black Panther, so that way I know / our audience knows.
So Black Panther is played by Chadwick Boseman.
Okay.
Who already played Jackie Robinson in the movie 42. So he's out. So that way you know he's a good actor.
Sure.
He's also played some other parts. Nothing really comes to mind immediately, but I know I've seen him in a bunch of stuff, and I really like what he does.
Okay.
Chadwick Boseman plays the Black Panther title character, and he's been elected king of the fictional place of Wakanda in Africa.
Okay.
But he is challenged by the throne by his then unknown cousin, Eric Killmonger, played by
Michael B. Jordan.
Real
quick question.
Answer.
Okay, so his last name was Killmonger, and nobody thinks he was threatened by this?
No, he actually earned. That's actually a nickname that he earned while he was in the Marines, and then Black Ops.
Yeah.
Because his task force team would go into unstable countries and basically destabilize the government, which is actually kind of what he does in this movie.
Okay, fair enough.
So it's a great backstory, and everything he does makes sense because he's basically the hero of his own story, which is really good because he grows up as a kid from Oakland who loses his dad and then builds himself to this basically great warrior via, U.S. taxpayer money, and then challenges T'Challa or Chadwick Boseman for the right to rule Wakanda because he has a birthright to do so. And he's actually legitimately has a legit reason to challenge the throne. And so he does, and he watches the throne.
That's one of the things I've heard a lot, and we talked a bit off pod about this.
Yes.
About like how people are like, man, that villain actually has some pretty salient points.
Yeah.
Like, he's not technically traditionally comic book evil.
No.
He's just happens to be at odds with our main character in a few specific ways.
But
in general, he's actually kind of relatable.
Well, yes, and he actually has good ideas, except, they're kind of on the extreme side because Wakanda, as of, when we start the movie, is an isolated nation.
Yeah.
And they like to keep it that way, but Killmonger comes in, or I'll just get Michael B. Jordan. Michael B. Jordan comes in and basically says, no, we need to share this world with everyone. Everyone should know the power and everything that we can do. So let's stage a full-on invasion and just show everyone our might.
Right.
Which actually, in turn, helps Chadwick Boseman, Black Panther, come in and basically find a really great stable middle ground of between staying isolated and then also showing the world of the power of vibranium and what it can do. It's a really nice way that the villain actually forces the main character to grow and solve a problem that is going to become a problem in the future, but it does so within the 2 hours and 15 minute timeline of this movie. Yes, it's actually pretty long.
Yeah, no one's surprised.
Yeah, but it's actually like really well done, and you can see that journey on screen, which is nice, and you can see all the gears turning and how everything moves one another just to go tick 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 to the end, which is really great and really well done, and the pacing is nice, and I praise Ryan Coogler for everything he's done, and everything that he's done before this, including Creed, which you haven't seen Creed with Michael B. Jordan. Definitely watch it. It's definitely worth it. I wish I watched that thing in theaters instead of on a plane. But I really enjoyed it. Also, if you can find it, Fruitvale Station is amazing.
Yeah.
There was actually it got, I think, Golden Globe nominated for Michael B. Jordan.
Yep.
But that thing is amazing. It chronicles December, the last day of Michael B. Jordan. Well, Michael B. Jordan plays the title role. But chronicles the last day of Michael B. Jordan, which is right before the new year happens, which is really nice because you see a character grow and change his ways all within a day. And it's really nicely and well done, and like a really tight story, and you should definitely check it out. You'd enjoy it. But just Ryan Coogler knows how to write a tight story and how to make characters mean something to people. And it's really great to see that Marvel picked up on that and hired him for this job.
Yeah, and I mean, kind of the undercurrent here is that this thing is being universally praised.
Yes.
Like, people are talking it up like, I don't know.
They're talking it up like Wonder Woman.
Yeah, I guess this is kind of similar to last year's buzz about Wonder Woman in a lot of key ways. Mm-hmm. But we'll get to in a moment why it's different from Wonder Woman. But
because it stars men.
Well, no. That's not what I'm talking about. Anyways.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's different from... So, why don't you... go ahead.
I was going to wait for us to do the numbers for that.
Oh, okay.
But so to wrap up, so you liked it, I'm guessing.
Yes. Besides, the protagonist and antagonist, the sister, Shuri, is a scene stealer in this movie.
I've heard, yes.
She literally is the best part of that non-action of that movie. Uh-huh. Like, her interactions with Chadwick Boseman and even like her mother and everyone else that she interacts with is great, and she's just a delight every time she's on screen. The thing I didn't like about if I had to say something that I didn't really like about Black Panther, it'd be Lupita Nyong'o's character.
Oh, okay.
Well, it's because she plays the love interest and is just... She seems to be just there as, like, oh, like, we were childhood friends, and now you're in love with me.
Kind of unnecessary?
A little bit unnecessary.
Okay.
But, it feels like a shoehorned, like, love interest plot to, like, well, you have to have a king needs a queen, right? So it's kind of in there, and it's kind of hinted at, but... It never, like, really fully explores it until, like, the very end.
So one extra thread in a movie that has a lot of really good threads that doesn't necessarily need that extra fray hanging off.
Yeah, but it doesn't detract away from the movie at all. It just doesn't really add a whole lot. Sure. Except for a really cool opening scene. That's it.
Okay. So yeah, it seems like the cast is arguably the reason to see this movie. It seems like the acting is great. Yep. It seems like the characters are memorable.
Yes.
It creates a world.
It's also fun. It's also really funny to see Sterling K. Brown as a gangster.
yeah, I can see that. But yeah, it seems like people really, really love it. Mm-hmm. So this is definitely a go see it if you can.
If you can see it, yes.
Yeah. But yeah, it's also in the news this week, but we'll get to that in a second. I just realized we haven't finished what we've seen. We also saw another movie, which we mentioned at the top of the show. We saw Early Man, which I'm not really sure how to not to pronounce the title. I'm not sure how they want the title said. Like,
is it early
man? Like early man, like saying it like that, like emphasizes, oh, it's about early human beings, which is what the movie is partly about.
Right.
Or is it about early man, like that dude? But no, I don't know how they want it to be said.
It's early.
I'm gonna guess the first one.
The first way.
But I don't know. It's just hard not to call it Early Man, like a superhero.
Right.
But anyways, Early Man is the new Aardman animation film.
You know, these are the guys behind Chicken Run.
Yeah, and Wallace and Gromit, most famous.
Yes, and Shaun the Sheep.
And Shaun the Sheep. So they have been kind of churning out these things pretty much since Chicken Run in 2001.
Yeah.
Although since in the post-DreamWorks deal years, they've kind of been nomads going from studio to studio depending on who will distribute them. But this one is Lionsgate distributed. It's, as the name implies, about early man, about cavemen who are, hanging out, hunting, doing their hunting thing.
Yep.
But it's also kind of a movie about soccer.
Yeah. It's about England and the formation of soccer and how a scrappy little team can go up against the champions.
So yeah, the movie is weird because the setup should be enough where it's like, oh, it's a movie about early man, and you think that's all it's going to be. But then they also set up kind of this other thing, which is like, oh, there's also they're basically in this valley where they're the only cavemen left. Everything around them has gotten to the point where they're in the Bronze Age. And so the Bronze Age people go find this valley and they want to take it over, and they do. And they have these plans for a big mine and stuff. And so eventually, through like 30 minutes, like it takes way too long for them to get there. But eventually you find out, oh, Bronze Age people have been playing soccer this whole time. They're really good at it. And even though the early man guy remembers vaguely via some cave paintings that his ancestors played a sport that he doesn't know is soccer yet, that hits him, oh, we've known soccer too. We just stopped playing it. I wonder why, which is actually a revelation later in the film as well. But yeah, and then all of a sudden it's a movie about, oh, they're going to fight for their valley by doing a soccer match against the Bronze Age people.
Right, and because this is a British company, they don't say soccer, they say football.
But yeah, it's very, very British.
Oh, yes.
It's definitely way more British than Chicken Run was.
Yes.
Chicken Run had the kind of American balance to it with the Mel Gibson character.
Right. There's also a big allegory that you can see in this film between, the British Premier League and basically South America.
Yes. And they call the villain his premiership several times, and I giggled to myself. I was like, I get it.
Yes.
And they make an early Manchester joke.
Yes.
I think the announcers that they get, I'm not 100% sure, but I want to say that they're probably actual football announcers in England.
So, yeah. I think at one point they made a Shell by the Sea joke.
Yeah, it's very strange how specific the jokes are.
Yes.
And how it definitely doesn't seem like it was altered in any way for an American audience, which I don't expect it to. No, at this point, if you know what you're getting into with one of their movies,
right?
But the downside is that that's kind of it.
Yeah, it doesn't really play well with American audiences, especially if you're not into soccer, or if you even going in don't even know that it's about soccer.
But the problem with the movie is that it falls into so many different formulas. It's very formulaic.
Yeah, it also doesn't know what it wants to be till about 2/3 way through the movie.
Yeah, and then by that point you're just like, you may not care.
Yes.
Is kind of what I wrote in the write-up on MediaBoatPodcast.com, if you want to look that up.
Right. Also, the character names are not very memorable.
No. I don't remember who anybody is.
Doug, and that's it.
Doug. I don't even remember what the girl's name is.
No.
Guma? Laguna.
That's a better name than me. I was like, nope, just blonde girl played by Maisie Williams.
It's very, very, very predictable, very formulaic.
Yes.
You know that they're going to struggle, initially with learning soccer. You know the girl that he runs into at the beginning is going to be the love interest and is going to help them train.
And
the villain is going to, go down that path.
Right. And out of everything they do, the one thing they, for some reason, decided to leave out was the epic pick-me-up halftime speech.
Yeah.
That's the one thing that wasn't there.
No, because instead what they did was the midpoint was instead, oh, by the way, you guys sucked. No, you guys weren't good.
No, I'm talking about during the match.
Oh, that too.
Because that turning point was the villain becoming the ref.
Right.
That's what it was instead.
Which is a dumb thing.
It is.
There's a giant duck. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's like, it's a movie with a lot of weird choices. And it ends up kind of just feeling like this is very middle of the road Aardman. So if you're expecting, it does have a lot of pretty clever puns and some good visual gags, stuff you'd expect from them. There's just a smattering of it, and it doesn't distract from the fact that the plot kind of sucks.
And I will say this about the movie, that if it was live action, it would be terrible.
Well, yes.
There's a good reason this thing is claymation.
Yeah, the animation is pretty impressive. It's getting to the point, though, with those Aardman ones where you don't know what the percentage is actual hand animation and what the percentage is CG at this point. It seems like most of the characters in the close-up work is still clay. But I think stuff like the flying duck and the kind of the more complicated scenes,
a lot of the more stuff in the background too,
have CG alteration going on because they would be impossible. It would take forever to make that movie if they didn't.
Mm-hmm.
So it is what it is. It's a good counter programming if you need something to take your kids to instead of Black Panther if they're not quite old enough to handle it. It's good kids entertainment. It's a harmless hour and 15.
It's a short movie.
It's a pretty short movie, and it doesn't overstay its welcome. It just takes forever to get to where it wants to go, and then it's a quick clip after it gets there.
All right, so Pancake Media Boat rating system.
Stream it.
Stream it.
I don't want to immediately write it off, but don't go and pay money in a theater like we did.
Yeah.
It was a backup plan for us. I think wait until it's on Netflix or something, so you can put it on for your 5-year-old cousin. Or if you want something that's completely brainless.
Yeah.
But otherwise, don't bother.
Okay. So I saw 2 other movies that I meant to catch up on.
Okay.
They both came out last year. One was The House.
The House!
Starring Will Ferrell and Amy Poehler. And I did not laugh once through that thing. Except for the very end.
Yeah, you said
when they were doing
really
the bloopers. They made some really questionable stuff that they thought was funny at the time. And it doesn't doesn't play well.
Yeah.
And just it's an overall bad movie. I regret watching it, and I'm glad I didn't see it in theaters.
You want your hour and a half back?
Kind of. Second movie I saw was a movie that got delayed twice.
All right.
And that is Masterminds that came out last year, starring Zach Galifianakis.
I heard that was bad too.
Kristen Wiig. It has its moments. It's not completely terrible and full of crap, but it's just... It's just not a good movie either.
Sure. Okay, so don't see those.
Yeah.
But what did people see this weekend?
Oh.
You already know the answer.
Because everyone went and saw Black Panther.
So let's talk about the box office, which is the next part here.
Yes.
Black Panther, of course. Your number 1 movie.
Oh, by the way, these are 4-day numbers.
So yeah, we decided to take in the 4-day numbers here. So that includes the Friday, because I guess they're including some people have that as a holiday. And the Monday, which is the actual holiday. So Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday.
Yes.
All those numbers count for this. Black Panther led the pack, of course, with $242 million. Now, this is when we should probably talk about all the records it made. Because this was a record debut in a whole bunch of ways.
So, let's see how many first we brought out here.
Yeah. So, it was the biggest opening for a solo superhero movie.
Yes. Even though Black Panther did premiere in Civil War, he was neither the main character, nor was he even in a lead role.
Right. So he doesn't count.
Right.
That didn't count.
Right.
It's the second highest weekend for a Marvel cinematic universe opening with 201 million.
Right.
That barely is under Avengers, which had 207 and is a solid number 4 on the all-time list.
Right.
It's the number 1 February debut ever, soaring over the last record holder, which was Deadpool.
Yes, which is the last time we were this wrong on a prediction.
It's true, which was 132 million.
Yes.
It is the 15th highest international debut with $169 million.
And it's yet to open in China still.
It's the biggest. It has the biggest opening and is the highest grossing film by a black director.
You're welcome, Ryan Coogler.
Now, and only the second MCU film to receive an A+ rating on CinemaScore.
The other one being the Avengers.
So, needless to say, it did gangbusters and is going to continue to do well. Next week, it's gonna be your number 1 again.
Yes.
No choice. No chance about it.
So, rough estimate, should it track at number 1 for the next, for 2 more weeks?
Yeah.
It will pass $500 million
in 3 weeks.
Domestically.
In 3 weeks.
In 3 weeks.
Which it can do.
It can do.
Which
I think actually maybe 4 weeks. But yeah, that's $500 million domestically.
Yeah.
Only a handful of movies ever done that.
That's pretty insane.
Like last year, it was only Beauty and the Beast, and that was it.
Yeah.
Last year I didn't even hit $500 million, I think.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Well, no, it did because it was number 1, so I had to pass it. So, yeah. So 2 last year.
Right.
All right.
So the rest of your top 5 are number 2, Peter Rabbit with $23 million. What a drop from number 1 there.
Yeah.
Number 3 is 50 Shades Freed, earning another $19 million. Jumanji hangs out on the top 5 with another $10 million. And rounding off your top 5, the 1517 to Paris with a $8 million debut.
Yeah.
That's it.
Oh, you don't want to put the
No.
What early man made?
No. Only made $4 million.
Yeah.
So, moving to next week, your challengers, which will get creamed by Black Panther, are first Annihilation, the Natalie Portman vehicle.
Yeah. So this thing was okay. It's a female-led cast by the same director who did Ex Machina. And so it looks good. I have high hopes for it. I just feel like no one's gonna see this thing.
Yeah, it's gonna just be annihilated.
Yeah.
Sadly. It might be one of those things that turns like later people will be talking about it once again when it hits streaming or something.
Yeah.
Where people are like, oh yeah, this movie is actually pretty good, kind of thing.
Right.
Also this week, Game Night, the Jason Bateman vehicle.
This looks funny.
Looks okay.
But I have a weird track record with Jason Bateman films.
Yeah. And then lastly, something called Every Day.
I didn't look this up. It was written down. Yeah.
I don't know.
It said wide release on it, so that's why it's there.
Fair enough. Okay, moving out of that, we have our first moving news story.
Yep. And it's award season still.
It's still award season. This time we're moving to Great Britain with the BAFTAs, which are the British Arts Film Television Awards.
Get your tea and crumpets ready.
Yes, it's crumpet time.
Trumpets are crumpets.
Here are your winners for the major categories in the BAFTAs. This isn't just film, by the way, but for this segment, we're just going to be talking about film.
Right.
It is Best Film was 3 Billboards, adding credence to your hype.
Yes.
Rising Star Award went to Daniel Kaluuya for Get Out.
Yep.
Original music went to The Shape of Water. Makeup and hair went to Darkest Hour.
Which I think it should, because Gary Oldman disappears in that role.
Yeah. Animated film was Coco. Ooh. Yay. Editing went to Baby Driver.
Yeah, that's a surprise one.
Hey, might lead to some momentum.
I know.
Documentary film went to last year's Oscar-nominated I Am Not Your Negro.
Right.
International film, The Handmaiden. Adapted screenplay went to Call Me By Your Name. Original screenplay went to 3 Billboards.
Yep.
Cinematography went to Blade Runner 2049.
Which is a good pickup, and yes. I really hope he wins.
I really hope.
Because that's a really nice film to look at.
Yeah. Sound went to Dunkirk. Director went to Guillermo del Toro. Mm-hmm. Actor Gary Oldman. Actress Frances McDormand.
Yep.
Supporting actor Sam Rockwell. Supporting actress Allison Janney. So pretty much fallen right into lockstep with everything else.
Right. So, what's looking at for all your Oscar ballots? The actors are pretty much locked up at this point.
Yeah.
3 Billboards will most likely win.
I don't
Best
know.
Picture.
I don't know anymore.
I mean, we still need SAG to weigh in on this thing.
Yeah. It's just such a tough freaking year for Best Picture, as we discussed.
Right.
So we'll see. All right. Moving on.
Yeah, moving on.
Our next story is about Last Men in Aleppo.
Yes. The Oscar-nominated film, Last Men in Aleppo.
So this is a documentary that is nominated, as you said, for Best Documentary at the Oscars. The producer, Kareem Abid, will not attend the show, the Oscars, because his visa has been rejected by the government.
Yes.
So, producer of the documentary Last Men in Aleppo follows the White Helmets' rescue work in the Syrian city of Aleppo. That's what this film is about. Mm-hmm. A letter from the consulate reads, quote, "You have been found ineligible for a visa under Section 212F of the Immigration and Nationality Act. A denial under this act means that you do not meet the requirements for entry to the United States." White Helmet's co-founder Mahmoud Al-Hattar will also not be present after the Syrian government refused to expedite the visa process to allow them to travel to Hollywood.
Right. Side note that these guys actually do still have interviews to get visas. However, those interviews are set for March 2nd, 2 days before the Oscars.
Yeah. So the next kind of wrinkle into this is that last year, this subject was covered in a short subject documentary nominee produced by Netflix, also about filmed by the White Helmets.
Yeah, I believe that was just called White Helmets 2.
Yeah. But this year, this one is the first film directed and produced by Syrians.
Right.
To earn an Oscar ever, which makes it kind of a different kind of story.
Mm-hmm.
And in fact, as you may have kind of figured by how we're talking around this, this of course is related, this rejection of the visa is related to some recent executive orders that stop visa applications from citizens, specifically, among other countries, of Syria.
Trump's orders, basically. Yeah.
I mean, that would be the only recent executive order to happen, so I didn't feel like I needed to say it.
Oh, sorry.
If it's executive order, it ain't happening from Obama anymore.
We have to mention it. We have to mention it, but yeah. So this is this just sucks.
It sucks because you'd hope that people get to see their nominated things, potentially win an Oscar there, and if they can't even enter the country anymore, or stay in the country, or all sorts of different situations that people find themselves in. It's not a great look for us, and it sucks for the people involved in making these films that we're honoring.
Right.
So yeah, it sucks. I don't think anything's gonna change until before the show, though.
No, like I said, their in-person interviews with the U.S. consulate is 2 days before the actual Oscars.
And it's not.
And I don't think he expedited that fast.
No. So disappointing.
Yeah.
What is also disappointing was Kung Fury.
Yes.
I had to sit through Kung Fury once. It was terrible, and I hated every second of it.
Yes. But there's a reason we're breaking it up.
But people like Kung Fury. In fact, people like it so much that a feature-length follow-up to the 2015 short film is underway. Yes. And is making some headlines for casting.
Yeah. So
Arnold Schwarzenegger has joined the cast to play the American president. And joins, get this, David Hasselhoff. And Michael Fassbender?
That is Oscar-nominated Michael Fassbender.
Yeah. The creator, David Sandberg, will once again star as the titular character, Kung Fury, who is the greatest damn cop of all time. Quote.
Yes.
David Katzenberg will produce the film, because what else? And with a company, Be Real Films, and a company called Laser Unicorns.
That is correct. Laser Unicorns.
Just rubbing it in. Yeah, if you want to really kill your brain cells for 30 minutes, go watch Kung Fury. It's on Netflix.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Netflix put it on.
It's on Netflix.
Yeah, we saw it on YouTube.
I think I watched it on YouTube.
Well, yeah, you watched it with me because I put it on YouTube. Yeah.
So bad. Next up in news, we have a little story about Netflix.
Speaking of,
they've got a new worldwide rights for the Duplass brothers films.
So do you say Duplass? I say Duplass.
Duplass.
Yeah.
Jay and Mark Duplass.
Yeah.
Who are the writers, directors of The One I Love, The Overnight, and Jeff Who Lives at Home, will be releasing their next project under a new Netflix deal later this year. Their new movie follows a bittersweet bromance, because of course it does, and centers on themes of friendship, mortality, and made-up sports. And it stars Mark Duplass, and Ray Romano. Everybody loves him, from what I've understood.
Yes. He was great in The Big Sick.
Yeah, he was actually, he was pretty good in The Big Sick. This shouldn't come as a surprise. The brothers have already signed a video-on-demand deal in 2015 with Netflix. This is kind of following hot on the heels of the release, of course, Cloverfield Paradox, which pulled in 5 million viewers after just 1 week on Netflix.
Yeah, so
that works.
That surprise release actually ended up working.
So it totally works.
Yeah. Netflix may actually end up doing more of these things.
And our last bit of Netflix news relates to animated programming.
Yeah, I didn't want to put this in TVs because we were talking about Netflix.
Yeah, I guess this is kind of our
Netflix corner
transition show. News piece here.
Yeah.
So this is going to be a television show technically, but yes, the production studio and the art director behind BoJack Horseman are bringing us a new show called Tuca and Birdie. This will star Tiffany Haddish, fresh off of her book deal, and also of Girls Trip,
you know, hosting SNL,
she's
and
hot right
everything
now.
else she's been in.
She's hot right now, and she's pretty funny.
She's also hot.
Yeah, this is also true. So Tiffany Haddish will star in it's a show about two birds in a world of birds. I believe that the write-up said it was 30-something birds who live in the same apartment complex.
Yeah, that's written down.
Tiffany Haddish will play Tuca, a cocky, carefree toucan. And there will also be a songbird, an anxious, daydreaming songbird named Birdie. They will be
yet to be cast.
Yes.
So I have a chance to star opposite Tiffany Haddish.
It's not you. They're female.
I
mean, you could try, but I do not think they'll go with you.
But hey, I can try.
All right, let's cast this. Who's the other one then?
Wait. So it has to be shy and timid, right?
Anxious, daydreaming songbird. Lisa Kudrow. No, Lisa Kudrow already did a voice on BoJack, so.
Yeah. Plus, I'm thinking small.
Alison Brie. Wait, no.
No. What's her name? Jenny Slate.
Jenny Slate? Yeah! Sure. Yes. Yeah. Okay. You can see that. That'd be funny. Alright. Moving on to television.
I'm glad you agree.
Yeah, that's fine.
Right.
Moving on to television.
Winter Olympics are happening.
Winter Olympics is pretty much all we've been watching, so we'll go straight into that. There's been a lot of cool stuff. Not a whole lot of medals, though. It seems like after that first week kind of spike where all the snowboarders in the world were winning medals for us, we stopped kind of getting golds.
Yeah. So we had Shaun White win gold, Chloe Kim win gold, Brett Gerard win gold.
And then immediately it dropped off.
And then Nathan Chen immediately fell on the ice afterwards.
Nathan Chen failed to impress. The women didn't impress in their singles skating either.
Yep.
The
team competition was just bland.
Yep.
The highlight in all of skating was one guy dancing to Game of Thrones theme dressed up as Jaime Lannister.
Yep. We didn't.
Besides the girl who dressed up as Sailor Moon and dressed up doing the Sailor Moon.
None of them Americans.
No.
But yeah, hockey, however, was a highlight. The women moved on to the medal match, which is happening literally as we speak.
Yes.
Against Canada.
However, the men's team got eliminated last night during a shootout. Yes. Where after going 2-2 and going to shootout, they couldn't find the net.
So men's hockey will not medal, needless to say.
Yes. Women's hockey will medal, just determine
yes.
if it will be gold or silver.
And we'll see very soon here.
Yes.
In other sports, not a whole lot of success when it comes to skiing so far. Besides the early success that we saw, it looks like
we just saw men's.
Oh yeah,
half-pipe.
we definitely have one gold. Men's half pipe went to David's Wise.
Yes, with a really lucky third run after whipping it on the first two.
But other than that, Lindsey Vonn is struggling. Only got bronze in the downhill. The combined continues and will wrap up tonight. So we'll see how Lindsey does with that.
Yep, speed skating we've been sucking. Curling we've been sucking. Bobsled we've been sucking. We're just not going to win our Olympics. Let's just put it that way.
Not anymore. We used to be.
Yeah.
There used to be a time. This is not our year, unfortunately.
No.
But they've been fun. We'll check in again next week as it kind of wraps up.
Yeah, so even though we've been poo-pooing, like, America hasn't been winning anything, there's still been really great competition.
Oh, yeah. It's been fun to watch. Yeah. We'll talk more next week once we have kind of closer to the end kind of thoughts because, by next week we're wrapping this stuff up.
Yep. Well, we'll have a final medal count for everything.
Yeah.
I believe it ends Tuesday. It ends Tuesday, I believe.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, moving on. Other sports happened, including the NBA All-Star Game.
Yes. So, this game opened up with Kevin Hart and Rob Riggle.
Yes,
doing
Rob Riggle.
Doing a skit.
Yeah.
A 11-minute skit before they got to the actual introductions, wherein Kevin Hart decided for some reason to do a, quote, announcer voice. I put this thing in quotes because it was more like a really gravely, I've been smoking and drinking all night type of voice. But it was done on purpose.
Interesting.
And with every player, he not only included how many times they've been in NBA, an All-Star, who they played for, but also some ridiculous joke about them. Which didn't make sense. Don't have him, like, basically it's just showed why Kevin Hart is, like, just terrible, in my opinion. But that wasn't even the worst part of this thing.
What was the worst part about this thing?
That was what came next, when they decided to bring out Fergie to do the rendition of the national anthem.
The internet loved / hated this all week.
Yes.
So Fergie
decided to sex up.
I don't know what she was trying to do. Regardless of what the intent was, it was bad. Kind of universally thought it was a bad rendition of our national anthem.
Yes.
I saw one Twitter take that was like, nah, she's doing it badly on purpose in solidarity.
Yes, I saw a guy that I follow on Twitter said, "Oh my God, please someone get Kevin Hart off stage." Then, as soon as the national anthem played, they said, "Wait, I changed my mind. Bring Kevin Hart back."
But yeah, what happened in the actual game? You have some numbers here, but I don't know what they mean.
Yes. So unlike typical East versus West, this is Team LeBron versus Team Steph Curry, where they picked their own teams to determine who played on the All-Star game.
Got it.
Yep. We also have an update from the doctor who says we're actually turning it around. Men's curling is in the middle round as of today. Women's two-person bobsleigh got silver today, and U.S. won their first ever cross-country skiing gold this morning.
So it's stuff that they didn't show on primetime.
Yes. Oh, it was primetime
Thanks,
this morning.
NBC.
It when it was today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yep.
All right. Anyways, so team LeBron, Team Curry.
Yes. Tough, heartfelt match until where there was no defense played because All-Star game, which obviously racked up the score to 140 plus points per team, not combined, per team. But Team LeBron decided to finally play defense in the last 30 seconds to prevent Team Steph Curry from hitting a final three-pointer to tie the game, thus ending with a 148-145 finale. Team LeBron, everyone on that team gets $100,000.
Damn!
Everyone on the losing team, Steph Curry's team, got $25,000.
That's still a lot of money.
Just for playing in the All-Star game.
All right. Well, that was closer than I thought.
They showed all of it earlier in primetime.
Ah, okay.
So the 5 o'clock showing.
See, we don't watch that.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, anyways, in addition to that, there's also the Celebrity All-Star Game.
Yeah.
In which Quavo was the MVP. You know Quavo. He's 1/3 of Migos.
Yes, fun fact.
Yes. It all went down at 7:45 a.m. You know. When cool people watch.
Yeah, when I'm driving to work. Anyways. But yeah, also in sports this week, NASCAR, of course, had the Daytona 500.
Yes. NASCAR, I don't say kicks off.
Yeah, sure.
Crosses
the starting line.
Yes. NASCAR has
waves the checkered flag.
Yes. The green flag is a go.
Yeah, there we go.
For NASCAR season, as the Daytona 500 was this past Sunday. And guess who was in the pace car?
I don't know. Who's in the pace car?
None other than the great legend of the track,
Ricky
the one,
Bobby.
the only, Peyton Manning.
Peyton Manning?
Peyton Manning was
why?
Was in the pace car.
But why?
And he was going so slow, they actually, one of the cars actually went up and almost passed him. He was actually, he actually just went up to say, hello, but then, went back in line. But it was just a funny sight to see the NASCAR go up by the pace car. And U.S. scores.
Nice.
Yes.
But yeah, so you have here that two first names won.
Yes.
Austin Dillon.
Yes.
Took the final lap. And finally won.
Yes, Austin Dillon forced the guy. So he was in second going around, and then he forced the guy in front to crash.
Oh wow!
Thus, because it was the final lap, he was in front. He won. So congratulations, Austin Dillon. But more importantly, congratulations to Joey Logano.
Okay.
Because he won 20th place.
20th place?
Yes. The only reason I bring it up is because I was in a pool and I had and he was my driver, and because he won 20th place, I won money from it.
Good for you.
Also, because Nationwide is on Peyton Manning's side.
That's why. All right, so that does it for our sports corner.
Yes.
Moving away from
but
sports.
we have been actually watching other stuff too.
Yeah, what else have we been watching?
So the Joel McHale show premiered.
Yes, I would love to talk about this. So Joel McHale show is, as we mentioned last week, kind of Netflix's reboot of The Soup in a way. It's an excuse for Joel McHale to do basically the same show that he did on E! 10 years ago. And it is pretty much that.
Yep.
It's straight up, he just comments on clips from reality shows, talk shows, dramas, etc. Makes jokes about them, has guest stars appear, does sketches with that are sometimes pre-taped.
Alison Brie and Jim Rash.
And it's kind of his opportunity to do whatever he wants, and it's still funny. It's on Netflix, so they don't need to censor anything anymore.
Yep, he literally says the F word during it.
I'm kind of excited for it because The Soup was always kind of great because it got me to see the stuff that I would never actually spend time watching,
right?
And still get the best the highlights of them, like stupid stuff like The Bachelor.
Yes.
And so I'm glad it's back because I feel like there's so much more stupid television on now than there was 10 years ago.
Oh yeah.
And so now I get to see all the stupidity.
Yes.
And I'm so excited. So yeah, that will be on every Sunday on Netflix. So take a look if that sounds appealing to you.
It's a weekly show. Currently 13 episodes, but so far what I've seen has gotten such a great wide response that expecting to get picked up to 26.
I hope so.
Or even more
this
seasons.
Is something that could potentially last forever.
Oh yes.
I mean, as long as Joel McHale wants to do it.
Which it seems like Joel McHale really wants to do it.
I mean, the fact that he even is doing it at all seems insane.
Yeah.
Seeing as there's the entirety of Community happened between The Soup and now.
Right.
And he's still... And also his short-lived CBS sitcom, The Great Indoors.
Yes.
The entire run of that also has happened since.
Yes.
So yeah, it's a weird time to be Joel McHale, but I'm glad that exists.
Yep.
Anything else we want to talk about?
Yes. Last week tonight also premiered on Sunday.
Strong episode.
Strong start. Welcome back, John Oliver.
Yeah.
We miss you. Just don't talk about Trump every week.
He said he wouldn't.
Yes.
It's just he had to this time.
Well, yes, because he's been off for a while and a lot of stuff has gone down. But just it's gonna be hard not to because always something happens every week. Something. Just
Also, if you're a Cartoon Network person, OKKO returned this week with a couple new episodes.
Oh, that's why I jumped up on the...
Yeah.
Okay.
They were good.
Anything else?
I think that is it for what we watched.
Yeah.
So let's move on.
I did. So lastly,
Darn it!
Real quickly, I finished watching a show I picked up sometime a couple months ago because I was bored. Called Cheapest Weddings.
Okay, is it about cheapest weddings?
Yes, there's only 6 episodes, but the show takes place in Australia.
Okay,
so it's really funny just to watch these Australian weddings happen. It's just hilarious, but yeah, it's only 6 episodes, but it's fun to see what people will do to save a buck,
or
several $1,000.
Australian dollar, whatever they call them.
Yeah, a lot of outdoor weddings, and a lot of people reselling their stuff too.
Nice in Australia.
Yeah.
All right. Moving on to television news.
Yes.
Our first story is about who?
The Doctor.
Doctor Who. So Doctor Who, of course, will be premiering its season 11 soon, which will, as we previously reported, be the first female Doctor.
Yes.
Not the only new change that's happening on the show, though. There will also be a new showrunner, a longer premiere, and not only all that, but also a brand new visual effects team to help it look good. Milk Visual Effects has been the studio working with the show since 2005.
Yeah, it's when they came back.
Yes, but those duties will now fall to a new firm called Double Negative, who recently worked on the effects for Blade Runner 2049.
I'll say, and here's why this is important that these guys are taking over.
So because they're flecked with awards.
They're
successful. They've already earned 3 Academy Awards for their visual effects work. Well, can you name these 3 movies, even though you wrote this?
Yes, because they're both Christopher Nolan movies.
2 out of 3, yes.
Yes. Inception, Interstellar,
and Ex Machina.
Ex Machina.
So those 3 are with another nomination this year for Blade Runner 2049.
Yep, which is the favorite to win for VFX.
There you go. So TV-wise, the team has experience on shows including Black Mirror, Altered Carbon, and the BBC's Strike. Doctor Who Season 11 will debut in autumn, so this fall on BBC.
Yes, there is no set premiere date, but just also they're going to have to hire a new composer for each episode because that guy just left too.
Huh. Okay.
Yep.
So
a lot of changes coming forward season 11. Well, season 11.
Lots of changes.
Of the Doctor.
Get ready.
Yep.
All right. Moving on to some changes in the FCC. An investigation had happened at the last year. This was previously undisclosed. This information was not released to the public.
Right.
But an investigation happened, apparently, into whether Ajit Pai, the FCC chairman...
Yes, the guy with the big Reese's mug.
Yes, that guy. And his aides had improperly pushed for an FCC rule change that allowed Sinclair Broadcasting, as we previously reported, to announce their $3.9 billion deal to buy Tribune Media. This was led by Democrat Frank Pallone of New Jersey and 2 congressional aides, and they've been trying to get to the bottom of the allegations, but it is currently unclear the extent of the FCC's Inspector General's investigation or when it might conclude. The inquiry could also add ammunition to arguments against the deal, as it would reduce the number of voices in media, as we also previously reported, and diminish coverage of local news.
Right.
A New York Times investigation of the issue published in August found that Mr. Pai and his staff members had met with and corresponded with Sinclair executives several times, and language the lobbyists used without loosening the rules has tracked closely to the language used by Mr. Pai in speeches favoring such changes. The FCC and Justice Department are widely expected to approve the merger in the coming weeks.
Right.
So
this
race to the finish here.
Yes, this all revolves around that Sinclair Tribune deal.
Yes.
And whether or not 1, it's going to happen, 2, it's going to get approved, and 3, isn't even like what are their back dealings going on during this whole thing?
Yeah, it seems like there was some talk about, well, you have to change regulations in order for this to occur, so do that first, please. Yeah. And he made it happen, and then what do you know? All of a sudden, the deal's on the table.
Right, because it's not like these two companies talked, and then within a week had a deal. No, these things take months and months and months of back and forth negotiation before anything is even written down.
So yeah, it's interesting.
And the fact that it's interesting that the deal was announced a week after the FCC got rid of this rule.
Yeah, it seems like a kind of a interesting confluence of situations, and it'll be even more interesting to see whether there's any gain here, like anything gets talked about before or revealed before the deal actually goes through and gets approved. It just sucks that the people who are doing the approving are probably also the people that meddled. But here we are.
It's something about that green paper.
That green paper.
That just influences people.
So yeah, government's fun, isn't it?
Yeah. You can literally buy your own rules.
Yeah.
If you have enough money.
Speaking of money and people who won't be getting the money that they used to, Jeffrey Tambor.
Yeah.
Actor mostly famous for probably his role in Arrested Development.
Yes.
And kind of bit parts since then in several movies and television shows. But most notably right now as the lead in the Amazon television show, Transparent. So, as we previously reported, accusations of sexual misconduct, not quite assault, but misconduct, had been put towards Mr. Tambor. And there had been drama on the set of Transparent as a result. So Amazon decided to do an investigation in this.
Right, an internal investigation.
As you do. Well, it has reached its conclusion, and a series creator, Jill Soloway, said, quote, "I have great respect and admiration for Van Barnes and Trace Lysette, whose courage in speaking out about their experience on Transparent is an example of the leadership this moment in our culture requires." Later that same day, Tambor released a statement saying, "I am profoundly disappointed in Amazon's handling of these false accusations against me. In our 4-year history of working together on this incredible show, these accusations have never," that's all caps, "been revealed or discussed directly with me or anyone at Amazon. Therefore, I can only surmise that this investigation against me was deeply flawed and biased toward the toxic, politicized atmosphere that afflicted our set."
Sounds kind of bitter, doesn't he?
Yeah, well, just a tad. Transparent writing staff has begun reworking the upcoming fifth season following Tambor's exit as the series refocuses without its star. So Tambor is officially out.
Right.
The show that was ostensibly about him is no longer going to be about him, and will probably focus on the side characters.
It'll be interesting to see how they write him off.
Yeah. That's when the show is literally called Transparent.
Right. Because he's there without being there.
Yeah. Well, I guess that's a way to spin it, isn't it? Yeah. I mean, it's yet another example, Like, this kind of falls into line with the rest of the stories that we've been hearing elsewhere. I'm not, of course, able to say what actually went down. I wasn't there. But I choose to believe the women. And, then he needs to think about stuff for a little bit and maybe jump back in later. Or never again. I don't know.
He's kind of old. He could probably retire. But side note, featuring Jeffrey Tambor, he was supposed to appear in an upcoming movie called Stalin, premiering in Britain.
Yeah.
But his face has since and name has since been removed from the poster for it. Trailer has yet to drop for it. So it's interesting to see if they decide to recast him in that thing, or what may happen. But
it sounds like that production may be Stalin.
Yes. Maybe Stalin for a time.
Stored that one up.
You're welcome.
All right. And our last story.
It's about Disney.
Moving over to Disney and the Muppets, our lovable furry friends. The Muppets. Disney is planning another Muppets reboot. Yes. Yeah. Yet another Muppets reboot.
Yes.
This time on streaming.
Yes.
For the Disney streaming service that will debut in about a year.
Yes, end of 2019.
This is an addition to, also planned, Marvel feature films and such TV series as a live-action Star Wars, as we talked about a little bit last week, a High School Musical reboot, because why not, a series based on Pixar's Monsters, Inc. universe, that might be fun, and a TV version of The Mighty Ducks from the original screenwriter of the movie.
Right. The hockey The Mighty Ducks, not the animated cartoon The Mighty Ducks.
Right. Those two different things.
Yes.
They share...
One of them starred John Belushi. The other started...
Those two things...
Emilio Estevez.
So that's actually... There is something that links the movie, the cartoon, and the real life team.
Is it Disney?
No, it's Wild Wing.
I know.
Isn't that weird?
Yes.
Wild Wing exists in all three.
Wild Wing is still currently the mascot of the Ducks.
Which is weird when you think about it.
No, it's not.
Because he was like the lead character in that cartoon and stuff.
Yeah, and so he was on the logos for the first Mighty Ducks movie.
Yeah, but it's super weird,
and then it was just his mask for the second one.
Yeah. So yeah, it seems like a pretty crazy slate for the entire...
For what Disney's planning for this thing, it seems like a must-have at this point. And they've yet to like solidify anything, like saying, this is what we have, this is what we have, this is what we have, or show, or even price point this thing. But it sounds like we need to pick it up.
Yeah. And you have a last note about that Muppets reboot. Disney is currently looking for writers.
Oh, yes.
Because, of course, the ABC show only lasted for a season before it was canceled.
Right.
So none of those people will be coming back.
Right. It'd also be interesting to see the direction they take the Muppets in.
It'd also be interesting to see the direction they take Kermit in. Because, as you recall, Kermit's voice actor was replaced in between the cancellation and now.
Yes.
So, who knows?
Maybe they'll just write Kermit off.
Maybe. No.
It's
freaking Kermit.
I know.
You can't have the Muppets without Kermit.
I know.
All right, that's it for television news.
Yep.
So we move into cancellations and renewals.
Oh, right.
First up, a renewal. Grace and Frankie gets a 5th season on Netflix that will debut in 2019.
Yep.
Midnight Texas gets a 2nd season on NBC. Disjointed on Netflix is canceled after just 1 season.
Woo!
That's notable because it's Netflix's only... No, not only. One of 2 of their multicam sitcoms.
Right, it's also the one
Name
show...
the other one.
What?
Name the other one.
I don't know.
Name their other... It's Fuller House.
Fuller House? That's
Yeah.
multicam? Oh, yeah,
That's
yeah.
multicam.
Yeah. Well, no, I was going to say that it's their only show from Chuck Lorre.
That's also true.
That did not get more than a 2nd season.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah.
So You Think You Can Dance will get a 15th season on Fox.
Right, and that will, of course, premiere later this year.
And that's it for cancellations and renewals. Next, we have deaths. So we have a couple of notable ones. I'll start with kind of the earlier one, because one of these happened today.
All right.
Boyd Jarvis, age 59, American music producer, who produced for Herbie Hancock, LaToya Jackson, and Johnny Kemp.
Yep.
But the major death happened earlier today, age 99, none other than preacher to the presidents, Billy Graham.
Yes,
passed
that
away.
Billy Graham.
That Billy Graham. You have down here American evangelist. But yes, mostly known for kind of being the guy that was wheeled out by the presidents whenever the presidents wanted to prove how Christian they were.
Right. I believe he's been around since JFK.
Earlier, Johnson. He was, or I guess that's around the same time.
Yeah.
He was first, I think, brought out, kind of paraded around during the Johnson administration, and ever since then, presidents have repeatedly claimed that.
Well, no. It was he made a name for himself around JFK's time.
Yeah.
But he didn't meet with JFK. He was supposed to. He was invited,
okay.
But because of the assassination, that never happened.
Right.
And that's why he met Johnson.
Since then, presidents as recent as Bill Clinton were known to be close with Graham. The Clintons themselves even kind of reached out on Twitter today to credit his passing. However, it would be remiss to note that the man has also had a checkered history dealing with the gay community. Was very known to be an advocate against gay rights.
Yep.
Wasn't great. Say what you will, but it is a notable death, so that's why we're mentioning it.
Right.
All right, moving on to music.
Have you listened to anything?
God, I listened to a couple of things.
All right, well, I'll go briefly. I listened to a little bit more of the Black Panther soundtrack.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Not growing on you?
Not growing on me. I liked it. I liked what they used in the movie. Didn't like it enough to listen to it on its own, though.
Fair enough.
But that's the only new thing I listened to.
I listened to some stuff, but I don't remember it, so it must not have been important.
Okay. Moving on then to the Billboard.
But what we do have is Billboard, so I'm not even going to bother with the top 100. Nothing has changed. So that means that it's God's Plan by Drake again as your top song. However, there's been a shakeup in the Hot 200, the 200 list, which is, of course, the album list.
All right.
Number 1, Black Panther, the album.
No way!
Debuts at number 1.
So Black Panther's the top movie and top soundtrack?
Top soundtrack.
Man, if only there's a TV show video game to go with it.
I know, if only. Dude, the Black Panther video game would actually be pretty rad.
Yeah.
Um,
He's actually a fun character in the Marvel Lego world.
Yeah, I bet. Dropping to number 2, of course, is Man of the Woods by Justin Timberlake. Number 3, Greatest Showman soundtrack hangs out. Number 4, Culture 2 by Migos. And number 5, 50 Shades Freed soundtrack. Debuts in the top 5. That is your Billboard.
All right.
Bringing us to new releases for this next week. We have a new album called Fever by Black Milk. We have Loner by Caroline Rose. Caroline. We have Plunge by Fever Ray. Coffee and Jam by Grounders. Somethingness by Our Lady Peace. 100 Acres by S. Carey. All at Once by Screaming Females. Lost Touch by We Were Sharks. And Young Jesus by the band Young Jesus.
Wait, that's a band?
Yes.
Okay, I thought it was a person.
Yeah, Young Jesus is a band.
That was someone calling themselves.
They're on Saddle Creek.
Oh.
Saddle Creek, one of my favorite record.
All right.
Moving on to music news. Our first story is about classic rockers Led Zeppelin.
And more specifically, just Jimmy Page.
Jimmy Page confirms that the band will release a live album later this year. He also says that he has plans to continue releasing Led Zeppelin material over the course of the next 10 years. There's a lot of stuff to come out, he says, a number of releases. However, when asked if the band would ever reunite and perform again, Page said, quote, I very much doubt it, as they've gone past the 10th anniversary of the O2, where they managed to do one serious concert. I think you mean the year 2002?
Yes.
Okay. I was like, what's the O2?
Sorry, I put the
2002, where they managed to do one concert.
Yeah.
Page also revealed that an official Led Zeppelin book is scheduled to be released in October.
Yes, he mentions the book because there are other, several Led Zeppelin books supposed to come out before then.
Okay.
But this will be the official, documentation.
So there's going to be a lot of unauthorized biographies. They're saying, here's the real one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, yeah, so for those of you who still enjoy Led Zeppelin, new material.
There you go.
There you go.
Next up. Speaking of old bands, Metallica.
They're not that old.
They're pretty old.
Yeah.
The band Metallica has been named recipients of Sweden's Polar Prize, which is the prize for being the coldest band. No, it's apparently
no. It's for some people both liking you and disliking you at the same time.
It's the most polar of the prizes. No, it's considered to be one of music's most prestigious awards. They're the first metal band to receive the honor, which has previously gone to acts including Joni Mitchell, Paul McCartney, and Chuck Berry. The judges wrote, quote, through virtuoso ensemble playing and their use of extremely accelerated tempos, Metallica have taken rock music to places it had never been before. In Metallica's world, both a teenage bedroom and a concert hall can be transformed into Valhalla.
Yeah.
Metallica will receive 1 million krona, which is equivalent to $120,000, which is nothing for Metallica, I'm sure.
Right.
Well, I don't know. Stockholm this June.
Oh, they're not getting any of that Napster money, so.
No, they don't want it. The band, he said, no Napster. The band said that they will donate their money to the charity, All Within My Hands, which supports organizations dedicated to issues including poverty, young youth music programs, which you wrote in the British way for some reason, and pediatric cancer, which you also wrote in the British way.
It's from The Guardian.
Okay, thank you. So let me do this again. Youth music programs and pediatric cancer. ABBA's manager, the late Stig Anderson, founded the Polar Music Prize in 1989.
Just a little asterisk there. But yeah, congratulations to Metallica. Yep. Just another award on your long, illustrious career. Don't spend all the money in one place. Or I guess it sounds like they are, actually.
Yep. Well, both of these bands may or may not have used a Gibson guitar in their time.
Oh, you're going to segue that into the next one?
Yep, we are.
All right.
And so it's time to maybe give some bad news about what happened to the famed guitar maker.
Matt, what happened to the famed guitar maker, Gibson?
Gibson is facing serious financial problems.
No way.
They need money. The company has brought in Benson Wu, a new financial director, to try and rescue the ailing group. They currently have a $375 million debt payment due in August.
That's quite a bit of money.
And they are also working with an investment bank to set up a debt refinancing plan. The company began, of course, in Nashville, Tennessee in 1894. That's a long time ago.
That's over 100 years, guys.
And have been played by the guitars have been played by the likes of John Lennon, Elvis Presley, B.B. King, Keith Richards, and Jimmy Page. Speaking of Jimmy Page. So yeah, it would be sad to see him go if they end up kind of imploding because Gibson guitars are kind of known just as much as their rival Fender,
right?
Also, to be famous rock guitars.
Yeah, for those of you that don't know, Gibson actually owns the electronic company Philips.
Yeah,
they bought them out in the early '90s or mid '90s. So buy more Philips products. Maybe that'll help.
Maybe help them out.
Or maybe they could sell some of their guitars because we recently reported on the John Lennon guitar selling for $2.2 million.
Jesus, yeah,
at auction.
Get those fancy guitars.
Yep.
All right, moving away from guitars into things that are played with guitars that might find on some vinyl records on Record Store Day.
Yes, your favorite day of the year.
Not really. No. Actually, Record Store Day is super blown out.
Okay.
And there's no reasons to do it. It favors larger companies than the smaller companies that can't afford to do special benefits like the larger companies can do. So no, I'm not a fan.
But I put this in here for you.
But it is a notable thing that a lot of people do enjoy, and some artists do special things on it. So yes, we should still report about it.
Okay.
This year, the day of Record Store Day falls on 4/21.
Yes.
Sorry.
Because it's a Saturday.
Sorry, guys.
Yes, 4/20 is on a Friday, so for all of you looking to go ahead and explore 4/20 on that Friday.
So yes,
more than welcome
there's usually one specific artist that is kind of highlighted every year for a big Record Store Day release. Last year it was St. Vincent. This year, Killer Mike and LP, aka Run the Jewels, are the ones to grab. The visionary behind Definitive Jux Records, LP did more than anyone to turn underground rap CDs into collectible mini art objects. This is like a weird fun fact, not actually what's going on.
Yeah.
So who knows what they're going to do, but it will be some sort of Run the Jewels exclusive available at your local, I hesitate to say this, I'm trying to figure out the way to do it. Your local semi-professional, not super small independent record store.
Because as we reported last year, those are actually going out of business.
Yeah.
Because the big record companies are providing less inventory for them.
So basically, good luck.
Yeah.
Because you're probably not going to get one.
Yeah.
That does it for music.
And
we're moving on to video games.
Yep.
We have played no video games.
Oh, actually. So I went back and because we're talking about a lot of Kingdom Hearts last week.
Yeah.
I went back and played.
Is that why I heard Mickey last night?
Yes.
I definitely heard the voice of Mickey last night.
Yes.
I thought I was hallucinating.
Yeah, so I went back and played Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep 0.2 Fragmentary Passage Prologue. Yeah. I did some cleanup on a couple trophies that I needed, and
sure.
When I went back, I played it on beginner, and I beat that thing in just over an hour. So it's really short, but it did remind me of how good it looks and how good Kingdom Hearts 3 is should look and is going to look.
Yeah.
And all the extra attacks that is going to come out of it. I actually meant to go back and play Dream Drop Distance from it, but then I saw the 0.2. I was like, yeah. I know it's short, so I'm gonna go back and play it.
Okay.
Other than that, I'm playing a new mobile game actually.
Another new mobile game.
Yeah, called Tap Titans 2. Because
I've heard about Tap Titans.
Yes, so this is the sequel.
Yes, I guess that.
Yes, so I'm one of the weird people who like my tappy games and who like collecting absurd amount of coins and dollars and like getting like to the AHAZ version of currency, in-game currency.
Yes.
So I've been playing that, and it's exactly what you think it is. It's a tapping game. You tap, 4 strikes, you earn money. You prestige to restart your levels, but you keep all your attacks. So that way it forces you to prestige, to level up, to get more and more stuff. It's typical, but I'm enjoying it. I'll probably play it for another week or so. I don't see myself tiring of it. I may just burn out. I'll hit like level 500 and be like, well, yeah, I know there's like infinite levels here, but I'm not gonna like try and reach it.
Fair enough.
Yeah, right now I've hit 400, I think. So yeah, and that's only like a week playing it too. I don't play it that often, I swear.
Lies.
All right, moving on to video game news.
I guess we'll check back in on your new addiction next week.
It's not an addiction. I can stop anytime I want.
Sure you can. Well, I didn't play Jack. So let's move into upcoming releases. Your video game releases. Well, I should say asterisk here. There's no way we can talk about literally every video game release. So this is a collection of highlights, I guess you could say.
Oh, yes.
Of some games that are coming out this week.
Yes, these are mainly games that are coming out on multi-platform or, just fun names that I saw.
Fair enough. So Sword Art Online, Fatal Bullet.
Like I said, fun names that I saw.
Yes, we'll come to Xbox One and PS4. Past Cure. We'll come to Xbox One and PS4. Abo Kasim. Xbox One and PS4.
Go ahead.
Something called Immortal Redneck.
Yep. Yep.
I want to so badly know what this is. It's coming to Xbox One and PS4.
We can find out what it is.
Little Adventure on the Prairie for PS4. Pac-Man Championship Edition 2 Plus.
Like I said, great names.
Typo Man Revised on Switch. Space Cats with Lasers, which I saw when I did last week's thing on Switch. And Payday 2 for Switch.
Yes. That Payday 2 for Switch is a port, but apparently it's not the most recent version of the game that's currently on PlayStation or Xbox. It's actually like a year's backdated update on it. So if you're gonna pick Payday 2 up on Switch, just be warned that it's not gonna have everything that everyone else has.
That's unfortunate. But what you gonna do? But yes, remind me to Google Immortal Redneck when we finish here because I really want to know what that is. Moving on to video game news. Our first story is kind of a follow-up, I guess. Well, no, the next one is.
No,
sorry. This is a story about copyright.
Yes.
DMCA copyright. So EA, Ubisoft, Nintendo, and other major game publishers have asked the U.S. Copyright Office not to make an exemption to preserve abandoned online games for future generations. The companies argue that libraries, museums, and other affiliations might exploit such a right for commercial purposes by charging admission. So this has to do with some of the stuff that's already kind of happening, like you see some older video games being gathered and archived by archive.org and organizations like this. You have certain video game museums getting started up and video game historical societies and companies kind of starting. So you have kind of like the start of movements, and these companies are threatened.
Right. Well, because they're
feeling threatened, I should.
Right, because these are like classic games that they're still being charged to play.
Right.
They feel like, well, they are past their due date. They should be free, and no one should actually pay for them.
Yeah, like so Donkey Kong, which was released in 1981, some would say, oh, well, 1981, that's over 40 years ago. Like, that should be...
That's not over 30.
30 years ago.
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Oh, shoot. That's coming up.
Do the math. It's coming up.
That's coming up on 40 years.
Nearly 40 years ago.
Wow.
Just about. Just a couple more years. It's like, that should be, you know, something we could just archive, you know, and just have everybody else play it for free. Whereas Nintendo is probably thinking, yeah, but Donkey Kong is a character we actively use. Mm-hmm. Donkey Kong is going to be in a Switch game this summer. We can't get, you know, say Donkey Kong, like, is public, you know, available to the public when we're still selling things with Donkey Kong in them.
Yeah.
So, anyways...
this is starting to turn into the Mickey Mouse problem.
It really is. But for video games.
Yeah.
The U.S. Copyright Office is currently considering whether or not to loosen the DMCA's anti-circumvention provisions, which currently prevent the public from tinkering with DRM-protected content and devices. Late last year, several gaming fans, including the Museum of Art and Digital Entertainment, a non-profit organization, argued for an expansion of this exemption to also cover online games, which would include the widely popular multiplayer genre, which require a connection to an online server. And this part is especially interesting to me because online games have been and will be kind of in this weird state where when a company decides to shut down an MMO, it's gone forever. Because there's no way to archive that. They don't spin those servers up forever. They shut them down. Yep. And that game ceases to exist. So some of these archival organizations are wondering, yeah, but what if we want to either show this game to other people down the line, 10 years, 20 years down the line? If we want to play this game again ever, we will never have an opportunity. Give us the opportunity to at least think about how we could do this so that we could potentially do it.
Well, there are YouTube channels out there that archive past games like these.
Yeah.
But the ability to play them
is another story.
Is a different story, and that's where the argument comes in.
So the companies are afraid that as soon as they let the floodgates open, that it'll basically be like this museum turns into an arcade and people are spending money on property that these companies believe that they own, which sucks. But yeah, I don't know. It's a tricky thing because we're having this discussion because it's literally such a new thing. I know it's crazy to call video games new. They've existed for 40 years.
40 years.
1970s.
I know.
Technically early if you count like stuff like, you know, Space War, like late 60s, like on military computers. But yeah, like but still, like as things go compared to like music and stuff, that's new. And so we haven't had these conversations yet because they haven't been that old before. And so the fact that we're finally having them is great because it means that we'll be able to kind of figure out what is reasonable and what it matters when interactive things get old as opposed to when non-interactive things get old and what we do with those. So yeah, we'll see. It'll be interesting to see how that plays out.
Moving on
to our next story, which is a follow-up from last week. We talked about last week Hawaii passing some state legislation, or introducing some state legislation involving loot boxes. Well, and we said, hey, this is to hopefully encourage people on the federal level to get involved. Well,
and guess what happened?
It did, but not to the extent quite yet that we want to.
It's baby steps.
Some U.S. senators are pressuring the Entertainment Software Ratings Board, that would be, of course, the ESRB, and their lobby, the ESA.
Yes.
I mentioned that. To change game ratings in regard to loot boxes. Most notably, who's been in the news lately for this, Senator Maggie Hassan of New Hampshire. She has urged the FTC commissioners to take a closer look at video game addiction and loot boxes, which may contribute to addiction. Specifically, games allowing in-game purchases for surprise winnings, which are targeted to children who may be, quote, particularly susceptible to being addicted to them. Hassan also mentioned the recent World Health Organization update that added gaming disorder as a diagnosis as a reason for concern, as we reported a few weeks ago.
Yep.
So yeah, this is, like I said, kind of not necessarily a federal bill. This is not a bill that she's introducing. She's basically saying, hey, like open letter, like you guys should look into this, consider what this is, so that way you guys can self-police before we do have to write a bill.
Right. She's not. This open letter basically.
Yeah.
Isn't towards any senators or
No.
any legislation. This is towards the actual gaming governing board.
It's to the law. It's to the lobby.
Yeah.
Is what it is. This is very. If this sounds familiar, this is because this is essentially what Senator Joe Lieberman was doing 25 years ago, before the ESRB was formed.
Mm-hmm.
It was basically, hey, video games, this content is not for everybody. We would really like for you guys to figure this out so we don't have to pass legislation about banning video games for children. Do it yourself.
And thus the ESRB was
And
formed.
the ESRB was formed in kind of reaction. Basically, the governing board decided, well, if we do it ourselves, then the government doesn't need to influence us. The government can't influence us if we do our own ratings board.
Mm-hmm.
The same thing happened with the MPAA back with film ratings.
Yep.
Same happened with Comics Code. Back when comic books were the thing that people thought.
You mean graphic novels?
Corrupting the youth. No, comic books.
I know.
But yeah, it's funny how things kind of stayed the same. This happens just a new way every 20 years. But yeah, this is hopefully going to lead to some self-policing. It wouldn't be very hard for the ESRB to start slapping T ratings on anything that has simulated gambling on it.
Yep.
Wouldn't be hard.
No. Or just
putting some odds in the box wouldn't
Yeah.
help. Wouldn't hurt either.
But then you get into what about mobile games? You have to put it in the descriptions and stuff. You have to make it presently clear.
Apple's already started doing that.
Well, I know that they have that they put in-game purchases right underneath the titles, indicating.
But they've also started putting odds in there.
Okay.
In their descriptions.
All right.
Moving on to our next story, Eugen Systems. That's EUGEN.
It's right there, guys.
Curious.
For those of you who want to know how to spell it, it's just right there.
Eugen.
Yes.
Almost half of the studio's developers walked out, claiming labor law violations.
Oh, this is a great story.
The studio behind Steel Division: Normandy 44 and the War Game franchise has confirmed that 21 of its grand total of 44 employees walked out last Thursday afternoon.
That's half.
Yes, that's half of their employees. The strike comes after more than a year of problems with management. In particular, the developers allege that Eugen has run afoul of minimum wage laws, neglected to compensate developers for overtime, and refused to recognize contractual obligations with some employees. Eugen has since responded saying it did acknowledge an issue with its recent payslips going out late, but attributed the delay to complications caused by recent legislative reforms. The strike began a day after Eugen released Back to Hell, the latest expansion of its World War II real-time strategy game, Steel Division Normandy 44.
Right.
This is a very weird, small story that you dug up, but sure.
Hey, it's labor laws being violated in a video game company.
Yeah, that's true.
Granted, it is
a video game company I've never heard of, making a game I've never heard of.
It's a French company.
Okay.
Violating French labor laws.
Man, you spent a lot of time with The Guardian this week, didn't you?
Huh? Yeah. Well, because U.S. News is just covering the Olympics. And that's all anyone is focusing on. So it goes to international for news stories. Plus, Batch got me there. So I was like, oh, what else do you guys have?
Sure.
Oh, this happened.
Sure. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And our last story, the most ridiculous thing on this list.
Oh yeah. So I just wanted to end today on a high note.
This is a very high note.
On the highest of notes. So
people into terrible video games will remember the 16-bit basketball game. Basketball game is kind of actually not even true. Side-scrolling, beat-em-up basketball game.
There you go.
Shaq Fu, starring none other than Shaquille O'Neal.
Yes.
Well,
yes.
We had previously talked about, I think at some point on this podcast, that there was a crowdfunding movement to try to get Shaq Fu to come back.
Yes.
A sequel to Shaq Fu. Well, it's happening.
Yes, it met its goal. It's been in about a year and a half of development, and we now finally have some concrete details about the game.
Yes, so originally funded via Indiegogo,
that's what it was.
Shaq Fu, A Legend Reborn, sees Shaquille O'Neal fighting through Hollywood, trying to restore his name. Restore his name?
Yes.
From what?
Apparently it has been tarnished, and now he must
By what?
beat up everyone in his path
With flaming basketballs.
to restore his name.
Wow.
Restore the good graces of the general.
I guess. Yes, the general. Or
Carnival
Cruises. Icy Hot.
Or Gold Bond.
Gold Bond. We can keep going. McDonald's. Kia. All right. The game.
Is there anything Shark doesn't play for?
This is true. The game will be released this spring on PC, PS4, Xbox One, and Switch, with a physical release alongside a digital one for people who are cruising through the Walmart and want to buy a game with Shaq on it.
Yeah, that most likely going to be very soon discounted bin.
Yes. Specifically for the Switch, anybody who purchases NBA Playgrounds...
I'm sorry, not purchases. That's supposed to be purchased, because this is past tense.
Purchased NBA Playgrounds prior to June 10th, 2017.
Yeah.
So too late, guys.
That's why I said purchased.
We'll receive a free copy of this game
so
upon its release.
So if you just happen to pick up NBA Playgrounds for the Switch...
Guess what?
2 months after it was released...
Guess what? Shaq's coming to your house in the form of Shaq Fu. Get ready.
For free.
All right. That'll do it for video games. And that'll do it for the Media Boat Podcast.
Hey! Hour 30!
We did it. Hour 30. If you want to join us for another live show, we will be back next Wednesday for another edition of the Media Boat Podcast. You can catch us live right here on YouTube, 8 o'clock p.m. Pacific Time on YouTube. So just search Media Boat Podcast on there and you'll find us live. If you want to listen to our audio version of the podcast, we have that for you as well. Catch it on Apple Podcasts or any of your podcast devices. Our RSS feed probably gets some places. If you want to watch us sometimes stream video games, we're on twitch.tv/MediaBoatCast. If you want to find us on social media and want to know what crazy things we're up to, find us on Twitter at MediaBoatCast. Facebook, our Facebook page can be found by searching Media Boat Podcast. Our Patreon is where you can help us out with money. As little as $1 a month can help you help us make content even better and more often and all sorts of things. In fact, I have an idea that Malia actually helped me think of that I want to float to you after this podcast is over. Yes, float. That's not really floating. That's more like surfing. We can also you can also find all our writing about news stories, our thoughts about things that we watch/enjoy, and features including box office numbers and new releases every Friday on our website, MediaBoatPodcast.com. Check that out and enjoy and comment on some stories. I'd love to hear some feedback.
Yeah, we're going to try and do more stories.
Yeah.
Rather than just our thoughts, because we just bombarded you with thoughts for the past month.
We really have.
But yeah, we're going to start doing more stories. Like, you can pick up a Sonic the movie, Sonic the Hedgehog movie.
We didn't talk about that on here.
No, for good reason. But if you want to know more about it, that is on our website. It's
happening.
Yeah, we'll do more stuff like that.
All right, and that'll do it. So catch us next week. In the meantime, we will see you guys. Have a good week.
Yep. Next week we'll give you a wrap up of the Winter Olympics.
Yep.
And
some other stuff.
Probably a couple of reviews. Probably like see Game Night.
Yeah, maybe. All right. See you guys.
All right. Bye.
Bye.
Oh yeah. That's not funny. YouTube after show. Doctor tune in for sports like she always does. She has made it clear to me that she only comments during sports, but still listens to us. So thank you, Doctor, for listening.
All right.
But yes, we'll see everyone next week right here on YouTube.
Goodbye.
All right. Bye.